All right, so greetings wherever you are. My name is Biba Bright, and I like to do this. Please, before you continue, subscribe to the channel, and by doing that, you are helping me. Right, so today we are looking at how to extract information from your file, your folders. When you do all this analysis, it's not every single part of the output that you are interested. Maybe you're just interested in one part. So how do you extract that out in Linux? So I'll begin with the basics, and then we take it up from there. I'm sharing my screen already, so let's go straight to Linux environment. And then I see we have a very poor internet today. So, but then let me show you some few things that I have. Yeah, so I've put up this and I said how to be able to extract information from. So let me check to see if I'm okay. So how do you? So I'm just going to explain what the things briefly in the form of. Mostly, if you are going to extract an information, maybe you may want to like something like a word count. You have run a file and you want to know how many files are there, or what is it? How many are there? How many words are there? How many folders are there? You just use word count to be able to count that. I'll do that practically. Sort, that is to reorder the file. You can reorder the files or the file contents in the way that you want. Unique, it allows you to remove duplicates. Sometimes some things appear more than necessary, so you take that out. You use that function, duplicate. Of course, join, it allows you to compare two files. You can compare and then you get the similarities. You can pack the output and then you are able to go there and then pick the output out. I'll do that practically for you to see. And so difference to it also compared to the files, but it tells you where they are different. You see, so I'll create two different text files and then we compare them and see where they are different. So it will show us where the difference is. And then, of course, we can look at other ways of extracting information. We can use the less command to view just a little part of the text file. We can use head and display just the first 10 lines. We can actually specify to have like 20 lines. We can use tail to check the last lines. Maybe we can specify -n to give us the last 20 lines, then in that order. We could also use grep. And the grep allows us to extract the information, like it is used to search a line of a file and print out the output that matches the pattern that you have used. So you can see I have quite a number of greps, but I don't know whether today I'll be able to do all the way up to grep. If I don't, then I'll continue the other part over there. This part of the tutorial, I'm actually going to, I'll keep long here because there's a whole lot. We use cat, we use grep, we use all these small functions which are there for us to be able to understand how to extract information from our Linux files and folders. So let me go to my Linux environment straight away. And yeah, so I am here. So I've already created, so I'm going back. So let me clear my screen. If you are joining me for the first time, if you want to clear your screen, you just type clear. If you have not watched the previous videos, go and watch the last 3 videos on Linux tutorial, Introduction to Linux part 1, 2, 3 before watching this. It will help you a lot. So now let's check and see what we have. I know in my desktop, I have a lot of folders and files which are there. One of them is I have a folder called Excel. So I'm going to do this and then use tab. So I'm going to list the content of Excel. So that's what you do. And so you can see I have quite a number of files here. Some are CSV, and then some are also text files. Some are Excel files in that order. So I'll be working with these files alongside other files. I want to also go a little bit. I have this file called, so I'm going to IDF, and then I'm going to, what is it? Tutorials, I think is this. Yeah. And then when I come here and list, I also have a lot of files which are seated here. Okay. So there are a lot of things that we can actually think about and that we can work with. So because I am starting with this parts here, word count, sort, and then whatsoever. So I'm going to go back to my Excel and then make sure that we work with these first five, let's say, functions in Linux. So first of all, let's say, what is it? I want to know the content, or I want to count the content of any of the files I have here. As you can see, all these are files. If it is in blue, it means it's a folder. Okay. So let's say that I want to list, or I want to use the word count to count the number of items which are found in this particular folder called FGG. If there's nothing in it, it will return nothing. So I'll say ls and then the folder name FGG. Okay. And then if I have FGG, I'll use tab to complete it. And now it means I'm going to list the content, but I want to count it. So what do? I'll simply pipe it, which is what we call the pipe operator. And then you use WC, that's the word count. But are you counting a word or a line? Let's say we are counting words. So the individual items which are there. So I'll add W to it. And then when I enter, it tells me 0. As you can see, it is written here, it's 0. It means there's nothing in that particular folder. What about if I say less? If I want to list, you can remember, you can't list a file. You can always list a folder. Let's check for the other one, the VFF, like this. And then to count what is there, to use the word count, we say WC, and then we add a flag. Are we counting words? Let's see. It's also 0. There's nothing in it. Okay. But we have files which we can actually count. We have files here which we can actually try to see whether we can count them. So for instance, I can say cat. It means I'm going to print a particular file. Let's say Uganda. So I'll just start with Uganda and do like this. So I'm going to print the content of Uganda, but I want to count what is inside there. So I can just put a pipe like this. So instead of printing, just count for me, the word count, and I'll say W. So it tells me that there are 2 words inside Uganda. Okay. So if I could have actually printed it, and you see, actually there are 2. You can see I have Patrick and I have Drake. You see? So it means that when you are counting, you are actually looking at the number that is found there, but not the content itself. If you want the content itself, you use cat and print it. If you want to count it, you pipe it into another something, into a different command, and then you count it. I haven't used this command before, but let me try it and see. So supposing I wanted to say WC dash W, then I add the file name Uganda. I don't know if that will work. Yes, it works. So that's another way of using it. You can see that we have it will actually mention the file name and then tell you the content. We've counted the words which are there, and so there are only 2. So we could have done that. This is how we use word count. You can actually list and count. You can actually count the content of the file, and then you can count the content of the folder, and then in that order. So now let's see something. I want to count. So let's say I have W this, and I have W again, and then I am counting what? I want to say this. What do we get? So we were trying to count a directory, and they say WC, yeah, you cannot count it as a directory. So I needed to count the number of items in it, so it did not work. But it returns 0. That is why. Now, sometimes these errors are very important. It also teaches us the other way of. So word count, this is how we use it. Now, if I go back a little bit, this here, so I could have actually said that I want to word count W and then like this. And then what am I counting? I am counting a file. I think, so I'm going to my Excel and I'm selecting, there's a file there called yield data. Use tab to complete it, .csv. I want to count them. So it tells me that there are about 76 items in that particular, what a file called WS and then whatsoever. And that is it. So that's one of the ways through which we actually do count. Okay, that's what we actually do. So we can use the count several ways that you want. We could have actually also tried using lists. Like I could say ls, and then I'm going to say Excel like this. Then you could say the yield data like this. Then you pipe it. Now you now pipe it into word count and then WC. So when you enter, then it rather counts only the this file as one. Yeah, that's what it has done. So I'm listing the content of this particular file and then I'm counting it, and then it tells me that it is one. I think that approach may be wrong. So let me do this and count again. It's also one. That approach is wrong. I think this one will be better. This one will be better. It will better give us a good count. Now, if you want to count it using this approach, I think it will be better you change directory to Excel first. And then when you enter, perhaps, then you can then say ls, then you have your yield data, .csv, then you pipe it into, and then maybe WC, then you have word. That way, I'm still not getting, it's still the same. It's still the same. So I think the best way is to count, to use the first approach, the one that I have on top here. That way is better. And so we can always try that. Now that's for word count. You can exploit it in several ways. I'm beginning the basic part. Now the next here is to sort. We are just trying to rearrange the files in a particular order. So if I come here, let me clear my screen a little bit. Sort. We are trying to sort the files. Now if I list here, you're going to see all the files in a particular manner. Okay. So what about if I intend to sort the file? It will rearrange the file in a particular manner. Okay. Remember when we were doing lists, if you say ls and then you add -t, it will list the files in a particular manner. It will order it according to date. Okay. But here we are going to sort it. I don't know if I use sort straight away, it will work, because this, if not, so I'm going to terminate it and I'll use sort again and then add dots. No, that doesn't work. So what I'm going to do, I'll go back one more step and I'll say sort what? The Excel file, and then, but this is a folder. Sorry, it means I was actually making the mistake. Sort works on files, not on folders. It's actually works on files. So I could have done this, and then I'll say the yield data like this, and then so it sorts it out. So you see how it is? It will sort it in a particular manner. You don't need to rearrange it. So this is how we actually sort. And you can see it starts with the 1-1 all the way to the 2-2, all the way to the 3-3, and then in that order. So if you now wanted if you wanted only the 4-4, then you can use grep to be able to extract only the 4-4-4-4 ones. But I'll come to grep. So let's keep calm. So this is how we sort a file, and then in that order. I've already said that you can actually also combine sort. Like I have finished sorting, then I'm now going to pipe it, and then say that I want the tail part of it. And the tail, let's say I want just the last 10, and see. So it will sort it by to print only the last 10 lines for me. And then this is how we actually do the sorting. So if I want it, then that particular resource, I could have packed it. So I will do like this, and then I'll pack it into something called maybe the yield output. So I'll just say my yield output like this. So when I do like this, now you won't see the result. But if I come and say cut and I put YOPT, then it should give you the result, which is here, as you can see it here. So this is how we use the sort. Now, I'm just rushing. There's no time. Unique. It removes duplicates. I'm not going to do this because the file I'm working on, I haven't finished working on it. So I don't want to remove the duplicate. But what you do is just write you simply say unique, and then you add the file name. And here, what is my file name? I'm going to my Excel. So Excel here. And then I'm simply going to say, under the Excel, I'm looking for this file called yield data. So, and I'm looking for the unique things. So, and then let's see, what if I can print it? But let me pack it into an output. And the output, I'll call it unique again. So now let me cut unique and see. So you see that the output is the same as the old one. So there was nothing like, there was no duplicate, and that's what happened. If there was duplicate, it would have been there. If you want to find out if there was a duplicate or not, we can actually use compare. Okay, so we compare the two files. We can use join to compare two files for similarities. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to compare the yield one. So come and look at something here. I'm going to compare what is the actual yield, and then the unique one that I just took right now, and see whether if actually there was something there that was the same or was removed or was not removed. So now let's get back here and then let me show you something. We come here. Initially, this was the file that we had. Okay. And then we pack the output into what we call unique. All right. So what I'm simply going to do, I'm going to change this into the function called join, like this. So I am joining. So I come to this way, and all I'm supposed to do here is to remove this and then leave this. So I am joining this particular file, which is called yield data, to the output that I just compared. So I want to compare the two of them and see whether they are the same, there are some similarities or not. If there are no similarities, it means there was nothing that was removed. And then these are some of the ways through which we, and so I don't know whether I should, so join, so there's no such file. Okay, what is this? Oh, okay, I removed the CSV, I mistakenly removed the D. So they're supposed to be here. So we join them, and then you can see there is no. So it compared it one by one, and then it will do the comparison one after the other, and you can see genotype, environment, repetition. Why you can see there is no difference. So it means that the file doesn't have any duplicate. So this is how we combine two. You have one file, you have another file, then you join them. But to get it much more clearer is we use difference. So I could have used difference. So here I'm just going to replace join with difference. Difference allows you to see the difference between the two files. The first one, the join allows you to see the similarities. So I'm going to use difference as a function and see there's no difference. If there was difference, it would have printed the difference out. So you can see there's no difference. So these are some of the ways we extract the exact information that we are looking for. So let me move to, we can also use less head and then tail command to be able to check our, our files. Let me get back here. If you use head, it will print the first, 6 lines or 10 lines. If it is an arrow, it's 6 lines. So if I use this, or let me move to the Excel CD to my Excel, and then now I'm going to say head of the yield data. Okay, here I'm just saying head, so it will just print the first 10 lines, I think so. But if I want to print the first 20, I could have said head, and then if I come here, I'm going to put -n, and then I'll put it 20, and then give a space. So it will print the first 20 lines for me, and that's how we do. If I want the last part, then you use what we call the tail. So I'll simply just say tail, So I have tail, and then I can say dash n. How many, the last lines, how many do I want? Let's say I want 15. And then which particular data set I'm using. I'm using yield data, and then put this. So you can see that it will print the last part for me. If you want it as an output, if you want the last part as an output, you can actually do that. There is a way of actually picking sections of it, which I will come to that. That will be when we are using grep to be able to extract that. So now, we can also use what is it? A function which is called grep. Grep, and so the grep command is used to search the lines of a file, and then, so let's say I have this what a text which I have prepared already, which is seated here. How should I do a different video, because it's quite becoming long now. I don't want the videos to always, yeah. So what I'll do is I will stop here, then leave this particular video, then study that one, and after that, I'll come and do grep. I want the videos to be short, so that people don't get bored watching it. Thank you, and I hope you've understood how to be able to use these small things to sort out your information. So the next video, watch out before the end of today, it will be grep, how to use grep and then use cat at the same time. So grep and cat, watch out for that before I go to wildcards and then stuff. And then what the times gradually, we'll see how to be able to explore the Linux environment quite easily. Thank you. If you like what I do, subscribe to my channel and follow me. I have a lot of videos on R tutorials on Countable, and I also have, I'm building this one small. I also have other videos on thesis writing, Microsoft, what the output, how to be able to use Microsoft Word, arrange your thesis, how to be able to do paragraphing, to what is it, orientation. If you go to Excel, I have quite a number of videos on like optimization, Excel dashboard, how to be able to do visualization, edit, and then you are good to go. So thank you. That's what I do. I do that every day, and I do it out of passion. Please support. Thank you. Bye-bye.